5 minutes and then talk about Mass Effect for about 5 minutes because that wasn't
We can
announced
do
last
that.
time.
We can do that.
So you got us, Keith. So from 21 to like 25 or 26, we're going to talk about Nemesis, and then
we're live.
We're
We're live.
the rest of that is going to be
Please share. Please
You just
share.
type it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we got to share stuff and stuff. Hi everybody.
Hi Matt Stotts, probably.
Yep.
And Vince.
Hi Jick. Jick's probably watching.
Remember that time a guy came in and just on our YouTube and started hitting on Derek? It was great.
That
in another language.
I get hit on so seldom. That kind of stuff I don't even know what to do about. I'm just like, what?
I was like, that's for you, sir. Congrats.
Yeah. You were the one that had to tell me. It's like, Derek, that's not me. I was like, oh.
It's pure entertainment for me whenever it's anybody else.
Okay. Here comes the clapper. Y'all ready? The clapper. I'm a freaking idiot sometimes. There it is. There it is. I got the thing. My mom's watching. Cool. My mom knows so much about video games. 3 and 2 and 1. Maniacs, this is 110. Goodness gracious, we made 10 episodes after 100, and that's very, very important. Welcome to Salt Tier Podcast. This is Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast, where your argument is...
I
don't even know what you said. Your argument is invalid. Goodness gracious. Not coming to you from Studio 212 in South Lake Union, Seattle, Washington, United States of America. It is Black History Month in the world, February 2021, and we are having a ball. And a lot of things are moving around in the world, and especially in the video game world, things are happening because everybody's recovered from that holiday season, and the cogs are moving. Not just video games, also comics, also movies, also all the geek stuff. Everything is churning, but we're really happy to have you. Either Facebook, YouTube, however you're watching us right now. Glad to have you here. And we want to give a big thank you to... Ooh, let me tilt that. Boop. Voodoo Ranger IPA. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't have a bottle with me, so I have a shot of tequila. What are y'all drinking? Sage Bell, please.
I have the Imperial IPA, which is their 9% Don't Drink and Drive IPA. And yeah, what do you got, Russ?
Russ, you're muted, my friend.
I've got Higher Plane IPA. It's a hazy Imperial IPA. This is also probably like some straight up do not drink and get on anything, a bike, whatever. This is 8.5, so this isn't a slouch either.
No, it is not.
Yeah,
Want to thank big shout out to Lauren for hooking us up with Voodoo Ranger and New Belgium, and of course the wizard behind the curtain. Please do not disturb. We have the Prince of Persia, and the Emperor Lotte, and the Regent of Rigatoni. We have Keith the Boogie from the Soundcasting Network. Thank you very much for having us for all this time and dealing with all of our shenanigans. So many shenanigans.
All the shenanigans.
Yes. So thank you. Episode 110. We're going to start this off flying because we got some stuff to talk about. I am Loud and Brown, at Loud and Brown on Instagram and Twitter. I am GrossSteph on Steam and PS4. Haven't been on Steam in a bit, but I basically got bullied into starting an RPG with some friends, so I'm going to dive in big. It sounds like it's going to take a lot of time. But, also, I have a Mayfly GameCube adapter, and I'm going to start playing Slippy and also Project Plus versions of Smash Brothers with my friends, because they seem to have figured out the netcode to make that doable, because that's a game notorious for it. And if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, I will set a link on the Facebook and the Instagram to give you some listening material.
Nerd.
I know. Smash, man. Smash. And as far as what I played this week, I played Overwatch and just Overwatch? Oh, I played Apex. It's a new season, new hero. It's a little or champion, new Apex, a new legend. Sorry, I think they call them legends. And the new legend, tell me if this sounds familiar, on a cooldown abilities based shooter. It is an explosives expert from Australia.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
but
not-
it's in Apex. It's a new character.
It sounds like Team Fortress, but they switched it around because in Team Fortress, the Australian dude was the
Oh.
sniper.
He's referring to Overwatch. Junkrat.
Yeah, but it's it's very Junkratty. A little less.
I was actually gonna go with Valorant. There's a chick who has bombs and stuff.
Oh,
Bombs
I
and
guess
stuff.
that's what is with.
She's
Is
really
it just
cool.
Australia explosives? Those are just synonymous.
I don't know if she's Australian though.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, that's
normally normally the explosives are like the Scottish characters, the Irish characters.
I could see
Like-
that. Oh yeah, the whole IRL thing.
Yes.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I do need to learn the game more. It's nice that the game doesn't rely on cooldowns and ultimates to completely win it. You still have to aim, you still have to understand your weapons, and you still have to understand that it is very much a shooter. It is less of a MOBA shooter than Overwatch, 100%. But I had fun. We lost real bad all night.
But you had fun doing it?
I had fun because it's still the honeymoon phase for me. I'm learning so much about it. I'm learning mostly. Oh, leave the Irish folks. Okay, out of this.
No, I'm
You're
just saying.
playing on PlayStation, right?
Yeah,
But it is cross-platform compatible.
It
So
is.
if you wanted to be a noob with me, because I also recently installed it.
cool. I'll let you know. I only play when my homies from LA log in. Like I don't log in by myself. That said, their communications wheel is tip top. You don't even need to chat. You can ping items, locations, and the way you can do voice lines omits any necessity to actually be on chat. That's what I played this week. We'll just go in order from hierarchy. I'm going to kick it over to the longest hair in the podcast.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yours is short right now. Some are debatable. Me, Sage Bell. Find me at Sage Bell on Twitch, Twitter. If you feel like it anywhere else, you can find me on Instagram at SageBell_model. To nobody's surprise, I definitely played Dead by Daylight and Overwatch this week, but I also pretty sure I played a different game. Oh, we played more Blackout Club, which is the weird horror game that you have different kinds of, you can play with your friends as well. I talked about it a bunch last week, so I don't really have to get super into that.
Who did you play with?
Dots and Rogue Dragon TV, which is
Woo!
now, he changed his name. RDTV something.
Okay, abbreviated it.
Yeah. But so aside from catching me Thursday nights, I would suggest that everybody on Saturday be on the lookout for me sharing a link for Scoodles. She is hosting a DBD tournament. There isn't really that big of a pot or anything. It's just kind of like a for fun tournament. But with how they're going to do it is that you can have your killer, your 4 survivors, and you can have somebody who is a spectator. And so she's going to spectate and narrate the game while we're all playing. And you can't bring any of like your specific perk items. You can only have like your character specific kind of add-ons. You can't like bring in toolboxes or health kits.
No.
So I've learned a little bit more about it.
I guess that's super interesting about doing a tournament version of that game. I'm trying to think of anything I've ever been involved in And I got no personal experience with anything like that on a competitive sense. That's really cool.
I was about to say, I think the closest I've ever been in an experience like that in a game would be like the Hunger Game modes on Minecraft servers, which PvP. That's something that's similar, where you just start off all in a circle and you have to like break off within an area and literally Hunger Games each other. But you start off with nothing. You go out and punch trees and make weapons and stuff and go from there. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, I mostly play shooters and fighters, so everything is directly built to be competitive. So, you know, like I don't know how you would be competitive with some of my other favorite games. Like, how would you be competitive with Limbo or Portal? I have no idea.
Speed run it probably.
Speed runs, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Portal
cool.
2, you could probably do it. You could probably set it up where it's like it's solvable by one person each and have to do teamwork and you try to like rush through an area. So you could probably do something like that.
Well, thank you, Sagebell. Anything else?
No. Unless you want me to talk about my mobile games, but meh.
Down to the hatted one.
Do you guys not have phones?
Do you not have phones?
Do you not have phones?
I mean, I do. I'm just waiting for snow.
And for Diablo.
Immortals. I will play it.
You gonna check it out? You're gonna be our person on the point with that one. You're gonna take point.
I got to test it while I was at BlizzCon last time there was one. It was so fun. So yeah, I'd play it. And it's
all right.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. But you got the save rings ... How's everyone doing? Good to be seen. Good to see everyone. Good to hear everyone. All the normals in the chat. What have I been playing this week? I actually had to look because it's kind of hazy. I've got Steam VR just because I had to be up because I was running VR stuff, so I guess that counts. I was in there's a app called Big Screen. It's also VR because I heard Pray Tell you could watch the Super Bowl in it, and you could, and then you could also stream. Basically, it's a VR app that lets you walk into a movie theater and whatever people are watching, you can watch. And some of them are official. Like I watched Top Gun. Paramount was showing Top Gun in VR, so you could like go to like this movie theater and sit in the movie theater. But there was also representations of other people, actual avatars. You can mute them or just turn them off if you didn't want to see them. But you can also talk to them. So you could be sitting in the movie theater and like talking to people, and you could set it up where you could be talking, but you wouldn't be interrupting other people, or they could just mute you. So that was interesting. So basically that's what Big Screen is. And I watched the Super Bowl for like about 5 minutes in there. And I was like, all right, this is cool. Like I like to see first run movies come out in something like this on the first day. That'd be cool. Or have like a Disney Plus or an HBO Max app, that would show movies in there. We'll get to something like that later on in the podcast. I played a little bit of Octopath Traveler. That I also played in VR, even though it's not a VR game. I played it on a big giant theater screen in front of me. And the resolution in my new headset is actually good enough where it's not an extra pixelated mess as what happens in VR sometimes when you're trying to play on a screen in VR on another screen. So it was a little bit, it was smooth. I tried to play Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I tried to play that in VR, but I couldn't get any of the buttons working. Fun fact, if anybody's on Steam, there was a big update today for Xbox controllers. And they added a whole bunch of functionality. They actually let you map. I think I talked about this on the podcast when I first got it. I got one of the new Xbox controllers, and I like it. But see this share button?
Yeah.
On Windows itself, there's no functionality for it. You can't even map anything to it in Windows itself. In Windows itself, this is invisible in all of Windows. And they sold Mixer last year, so there's nothing to share anything to. So,
I got two homies on the Xbox team. I got words for them.
Well, that's way above their pay grade, unless you're talking like VPs and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I guess he's not an exec, but he's definitely.
Yeah, this is like some executive level boardroom stuff right here.
Yeah. He's a project director. That's it.
Yeah. So Steam actually added functionality to this, so you can map things to this. There was a problem. This controller forgets it's plugged in from time to time, so I think they fixed that. And a couple other little issues, as well as they added support for GameCube controllers natively. They added support for a bunch of other stuff, some PlayStation 5 update for if you want to use a controller. So if you're on Steam, check your updates for that. There's a lot of controller support that got put in today, which works good. And it now supports Xbox controllers past 4 controllers. So you can have, so if you're playing Gang Beast or anything like that, and you want to have 8, 10, 12, 16 people playing, you can do that.
Also, Jick, you are a bad person.
Yeah. Yeah, we were discussing this, like what games could you port over into VR? We were like, Portal technically, but then that'd be like projectile vomit the game.
There is a Portal variant with that's a puzzle that is in VR. I have played one.
Is that the one
About
that comes
4 years ago?
Is that the one that came with the Vive, I think, right? It's like
Maybe.
Aperture Labs something. I have that.
It's something that's definitely with Valve. It's a Valve specific game.
Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot what that's called. It's Aperture Labs something something. But anyway, I'll keep it brief. And I played a game called NBA 2K, but I played the VR experience, and that was just as janky and just as trashy as you'd think it would be. So that's about it. I just been goofing around with VR and playing things that aren't meant for VR and VR. So that's it.
Hi.
Woo.
Thanks for the intros, everybody. And topic number 1, we're kicking it off to the sagest bell that there is, and also a curled up puppy in the background, apparently. And we're going to talk about Gearbox.
Well, Embracer Group bought Gearbox for $1.3 billion, which Gearbox.
Whoa!
The
I didn't know it was that
company.
much money.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? Wait, okay. Aside from
1.3 billion.
which games now?
Gearbox, they have Borderlands.
Duke Nukem.
Oh shit! Okay,
Even though they're not going to do anything with that, but they own that, don't they?
that's
Yeah.
still IP,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and Saverings ... knows IP is.
What else they got, Sage? I can't
They
remember.
got Penn and Teller VR.
Do they? Oh, because Randy Pitchford fancies himself a musician. Didn't he do something with them once or something?
So,
I do like Magic. I will say that. I watch Penn and Teller fool us all the time.
Yeah. What else do they own? They own the Aliens IP too, don't they?
I think so.
Somebody else has.
Battleborn, We Happy Few, Homeworld, Risk Rain.
Did you say Battleborn?
Yeah.
Oh.
More importantly, Risk of Rain, which our own All Might Space Scholar was addicted to for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
We Happy Few.
Okay.
And Homeworld.
Homeworld. That's a big one for the PC nostalgists people. Like if you played that back in like the late 90s, I think they came out, the first one was like 99, I want to say, or 2000. Because I remember playing that in art school the first time.
And so, to ping back to Vince and Jick, no, we're not talking about GameCube controllers. Damn it, we're talking about Xbox controllers. And yes, everybody would love to be Teller on VR. That'd be a lot of fun. He's such a cute little man.
Yeah. Now, I think part of the deal was, I think they paid 300 and something million cash, and there's like bonuses and stuff, right? That can take it up to that. Was that what I read correctly?
I don't know. Let's take it to the cryptos. Let's take it to the stocks.
Yeah,
let's invest.
I think they paid them up front, and then depending on performance, they can get up to a bunch more money.
This will be. Sorry.
Which this is what stood out to me. Yes, you heard GameCube controllers. There's native GameCube controller support on Steam now. If you look at the update notes.
Oh.
So, Embracer owns 12 game studios and they acquired 12 game studios and a PR firm in a single day.
Yeah.
They're prior to taking Gearbox.
Yeah, they're also the parent company of THQ Nordic, the company that we've been talking about that's buying up other IPs or just hoarding IPs and releasing games. Wow. They own THQ Nordic. They're their parent company.
You got that big
Pro Skater.
Yeah, you two have that big brain going on where you know about the parent companies that own the companies that buy the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's
stonks.
That's the stuff that I don't even like pay attention to.
Stonks. It's stonks. It's all stonks, Loudon Brown.
Well, yeah, you know me. I'm just in my head. I'm like Capcom, Square, Enix, and everybody else just kind of washes over me.
Keep an eye out for Square Enix. Somebody could buy them, like Sony.
Yeah.
Could buy
by the way, apparently, buying Capcom stock is like not easy. Like you actually have to be.
It's on the Nico exchange or whatever. It's on the Japanese stock exchange.
Yeah,
you can do it, but you got to use certain apps and stuff to do it.
Yeah, so I think I might have to pass. That was going to be my New Year's resolution to have Capcom stock.
So Sage Bell, I think they paid some 300 something million in cash, and then there's a bunch of incentives and stuff built into it. What's up? Are you gonna say?
Oh, I thought you were gonna lead me into
Oh,
saying it. That's why I was
oh,
like, I'm ready.
oh. Well, like, did anything about this jump out to you? Because what jumped out to me was, remember Randy Pitchford got pinched a couple of years ago for pocketing $15 million in bonuses that was supposed to go to his whole studio, and he got sued by his lawyer. All that stuff.
Sorry,
Are
I
you
just don't
doing
like
that?
him. I just don't like him.
Yeah, yeah,
I've seen him in person. He looks like a tool bag. He
yeah.
has tool bag aura. Um, but so
Those vibes.
under
He's
the
got TBA.
so there's this like little blurb in here. It says Embracer said Gearbox generated 123 million sales for 9 months. For the 9 months ended September 30th. Blah 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 blah. Under the new deal, Embracer will pay 188 million in cash and 175 million in newly Embracer B shares. If
Okay.
Gearbox hits its target operations in the next 6 years, it will also get a maximum of 1.01 billion. Of that amount, 360 million will be issued in Embracer B shares, and the remaining 655 million will be in cash.
See, this is what jumped out to me. Him pinching that $15 million, trying to get away with it. Remember this story, you guys? He got busted by the legal advisor for Gearbox, which was his best friend, ended up suing him. Remember this? And then all of a sudden, he got dropped out of court and it just disappeared. So is that why he signed this deal? He just tried to snake 15 million and he got away with it. So what's he going to do with, what'd you say, Sage Bell? 600 and something million in cash? What's he
Yeah.
going to do with that? He's going to share it. He didn't share 15 million. He's not going to share 600 million.
655.
Yeah. So that's what jumped out to me. Like, oh, look at these incentives that you can pocket, Randy Pitchford. So keep an eye on this story. It's going to happen. 6 years, you say? Everybody, if we're still alive in 6 years and we're still doing this podcast, we're not. Keep an eye on this story. Yep.
Goodness gracious. And then, good old Darkane is spitting knowledge on our YouTube chat right now, telling me that Square Enix has an $8 billion market cap, but I don't know what stock market caps mean. Because I don't do stocks, because I don't really have money.
That's how much your company would be worth if you liquidated all of its assets, what it's worth to people, like what people would pay for it, before they get into bidding, like straight cash. If somebody, yeah, it's your IPs, it's all your buildings and facilities, all your contracts you have, it's everything. Yeah.
So you know what? With our super producer, we previously came up with a segue to move from Gearbox to Nemesis, but I don't remember what it was.
The Nemesis system.
Yeah, how are we supposed to move from this one to this one?
Because we're talking stonks and we're talking corporate-y stuff.
There we go. And then the Nemesis system gets taken by Saverings ...
Yep. And actually, I know Sagebell's got some words on this too, because this is a sticky subject. Basically, Warner Brothers, if you haven't played, I'll make this quick, the Lord of the Rings games, famed for their very tight gameplay, but also famed for the Nemesis system, where you go around and you kill these like orcs, and certain ones are of certain ranks, and it affects how stuff happens later on in the game. You can recruit them to your armies. I never really played the games. Did you guys play them much? Sage, you play it? But they were popular, and they controlled and looked very much like Arkham Knight or like the Arkham City games, but they take place in the Lord of the Rings type thing. You might have seen videos of it, commercials, playthroughs, and stuff like that.
If it plays like Arkham Knight games, Arkham City, does that mean you only control one person at a time? That doesn't sound like a party game.
Yes, you control one person at a time. There are multiplayer elements to it, though, where you can build up your orc army and you can raid your friends thing, and you can go back and forth of how powerful your armies and stuff are. So you're kind of going back and forth, and you're kind of playing in the game against each other. But what happened was they tried a couple of times before this to patent that gameplay mechanic where the things that you do, if you spare an orc and he joins you, or you kill him and then it sets off all these other things, kind of a choose your own adventure type thing. They have patented that. This is the third or fourth time they've tried, and it got thrown out before, but it finally went through. And the thing about this that's bad overall, and why people are kind of up in arms about this, is because video games are derivative of each other. Like I said, played very much like Arkham Knight, a whole other game. It had elements from the Assassin's Creed games too, like plays very much like those as well. If you
Sure.
if Assassin's Creed or somebody try to patent open world games, so only they can make open world games, that wouldn't be a good
Yeah.
thing.
So exactly what Stoddy said. How does this relate to Shadows of War, and what does this mean for the future of games of this type?
This means people would have to be very creative not to copy this in the way that you would see other games copy other games.
I
Like
mean,
for
can you imagine if Mass Effect patented the way they did dialogue trees?
could you imagine? Yes, the perfect example. Could you imagine if Tomb Raider patented 3D games and all we ever got was ever Tomb Raiders past that? There was no Mario 64, no Zelda or Ocarina of Time, no Crash Bandicoot, none of that
Who
stuff.
passes these fucking patents? That's like
Yeah.
that. Oh God, that's
Well,
Can
it
you
does
imagine if,
say after years of trying in the title.
yeah, it took them a while and it finally got through. So this set a bad
Since
precedent. Yeah.
2015.
Yep. They've been trying it for 5 years. So yeah, could you imagine if Doom patented first person shooters and they're the only company that got to make first person shooters since 1991? Could you imagine
I
that?
mean, so it's not the whole idea of the only one that gets to make them. It's like sampling or stuff like. What
You
if
have
you
to
had
pay
to
a lot of
Yeah,
always
money.
people
pay?
would have to be creative, but it would have stifled
Not even
everything.
creative. You would always have to just pay like a non-denominational percentage of like,
Yeah.
oh, we're making a shooter. Remember, you got to give about 15K to Doom. It's like,
Yep.
why? It's like because they invented first-person shooters.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
if you're
actually understand that. That makes sense.
it's basically the same thing if you're using a game engine, you still have to give money back to that
Hmm.
engine that you're using. So like
Well,
Unity or UDK, you have to pay them if you make money over a certain amount of money.
yeah.
There's like if you only make like a couple $100, they're not going to take a percentage off of that. Depends which engine it is, but
Yeah, it kind of depends on how big it blows up, right?
mhm.
Yeah. But could you imagine if Street Fighter or Capcom patented 2D fighting game back in like 1990 or whatever? Like,
Yeah, 1989, that would have been
yeah.
rough. Well,
Yeah,
the
and
reason they didn't is because, they built on the model of Kung Fu and what
exactly.
was that
It's
other game?
all
So
derivative of each other.
it
Yeah.
is all derivative, but however, patents and stuff exist to prevent themselves from copycats, which Street Fighter did actually have to fight because some of their copycats were blatant. They
Yeah,
were really
but
bad.
we're talking like character designs and stuff like that. If you're talking like
Sure.
a 2D fighter with health bars and you go left to right and you punch each other in the middle,
It's like,
like
no, that belongs to everybody. I get that.
exactly. Yeah.
So this is a great example, and I'm going to reference a Soundcasting Network podcast, the Evil Petting Zoo. There is a patent or a trademark on the word superhero, correct? You would know this. I believe DC and Marvel own the rights. Virgin Islands, screw you, Bobby. God damn it. Freaking fancy boy. But the word superheroes, I believe, is
Is that
whatever.
why in the boys they're called soups?
Yeah, it's trademarked,
Really?
and it's yeah, the trademark status of
Superhero
it
TM.
is jointly claimed. And sorry, London with a Y just sent this to me. It's jointly claimed by DC Comics and Marvel, and registrations of superhero have been in possession of them since the 1960s. So every now and then, if you see low budget things or mid budget things, they will
Ooh.
dodge it and they will say heroes, or they will say the word enhanced. But like if you say the word superhero, you have to pay out. Like, you said superhero,
Well,
give.
you know that Happy Birthday?
Yes.
Yeah. So like Nickelodeon created its own version of a birthday song because Happy Birthday you cannot do without paying.
Yeah, and the family that owns the rights to Happy Birthday is tenacious. They sue everybody that does it because it's like their livelihood. So Russ might know this. Sage probably knows this too. Stevie Wonder came out and was like, "Hey, fuck that song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my people's happy birthday song, and anytime they could post this song instead of that one and
Yeah.
not get sued." And as someone that plays music, whenever we send videos or do stuff, we've done that live before. We've done the Stevie Wonder "Happy Birthday," never the original,
Nice.
and it's also way cooler.
Yep. B-Day is still in legal dispute.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Dark
like what?
Kane, man,
Wouldn't
Dark Kane's. Look at his freaking.
wouldn't that be something
Got
like
the
if our
dark
if
web knowledge.
wouldn't that be something like our civilization? Like what if we ended and something catastrophic happened, and when mankind finally went down, Happy Birthday was in court somewhere like that. Like that's the high note our society went down on. It's like we're fighting over
First
Happy
world
Birthday in
problems.
court at the crazy.
Super crazy. Anyway, yeah, that was a tangent. Sorry, maniacs, but
No,
we
good. That
needed to
was
talk about it
education.
because that kind of stuff, it really does unpeel like an onion. If
Mhm.
you can hold that concept to only your company, like where do the lines get erased? You know,
Yeah.
if even if we shut it down to just gaming, there's so many different concepts that were pioneered by all these great companies, and all the old heads from the 80s. We're talking Konami, Nintendo, Atari, Capcom.
Activision. They've been around forever.
Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah,
Yeah.
they could maybe
Activision was the biggest.
retroactively. But see, the thing is, stuff like that has an expiration date. The trademark for the Nintendo is gone. You can
Yeah.
make your own Nintendo and sell it and make money because the trademark is over.
Nice.
So I'm kind of curious, is this temporary? The way that they're doing. Oh, cheers. Up top.
Clink.
Clinky. Slancha.
Mm-hmm. Who we drinking on there, Loud and Brown?
I'm drinking tequila. Reposado.
Mm. We gotta do the.
I know.
Let's pay some bills.
Shout out to them sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's that time. That's why the
Mhm.
beer was up.
Oh, okay. It is that time. So I was drinking Atlos Reposado, but thing I forgot to mention earlier is Voodoo Ranger IPA is B Corp certified and employee owned.
Nice.
That's something that everybody needs to pay attention to. Every now and then you get that working class salt of the earth drinker that's like, I drink Bud Light. I'm easy. Or even they think they're being
I'm
local
easy.
and drinking Olympia or Rainier or Schlitz. You have to understand that those are all owned by super corporations that aren't employee owned, that aren't B Corp certified, that
Stonks.
are mega corporations. They're stonks. So, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, we love our beer, we love our cider. Holler! Shout out to Sagebell if you ever need to know anything about cider. She is hot on it.
You
Oh,
should
yes.
see my fridge.
Thank you, Mom. Also, Sega and Atari. Oh my God, my mom's schooling us on old
Hi,
companies.
Mom.
Wow.
But when it comes to alcohol, no, same thing with video games. Know what the parent company is. Where's your beer coming from? With New Belgium, and especially with Voodoo Ranger, you know exactly where it's coming from. A B Corp certified, employee-owned company that gives a shit. And they're awesome. And they're here for gamers. It's not
Yeah.
just us. They sponsor other podcasts. They sponsor events. They are probably in talks with Goon PNW when Bonus Round comes back to doing stuff live, because they were there supporting us when that was happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
They gave us an entire table of swag to give out to anybody that showed up to the event. They've been so sweet to us. And it's also fantastic beer. It's not something that you have to like fake liking. You know,
Yeah.
you hear podcasts and you're like, oh yeah, and we're brought to you by Vessi shoes. I wear them every day. No, you don't. No, you don't. No way you wear that every day.
Well, I like
Ugh.
the places that have like they're sponsored by like 4 VPNs. Like you're not using 4 VPNs. Like
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
All right, and you know, we're a little early, but this is probably a good thing because we need to move to the big juicy topic because I already see it happening. This will spiderweb into other topics because it's such a big deal. And this is one that I'm gonna start, Maniacs, which is weird because I never talk. Dun-dun-dun. I got jokes. I got jokes. But we're talking about Blizzard Activision, Maniacs.
No, other way around.
Activision Blizzard,
There you go.
sorry.
You got to say the whole thing.
Super company. The big games that everybody was expected for BlizzCon. And remember, because of COVID, because motherfuckers don't put a mask on and throw parties, COVID is still going on.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, we didn't get a BlizzCon this past fall, so it got pushed.
It's in 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks.
It's
and
online,
more
correct?
and more news is coming out about what it's actually going to be addressing. And people had their assumption. People had leaks. Famous streamers and content creators have come out with their ideas. And it's all but been confirmed that the 2 big games everybody's been looking forward to for the past, 5 years, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, aren't coming out in 2021. Probably 2022, if that, because of hashtag reasons. Sage Bell.
But who actually thought, anyone who knows Blizzard knows that Diablo was just an announcement and it wasn't going to come out the following year. Overwatch 2, we're not surprised, but we're also not shocked because they did say it was supposed to come out in 2020. But Diablo was not. It has no date. It wasn't. They would give you a date-ish if it was going to come out that year. But the only shocker would be Overwatch 2, which we thought we were getting in the fall, but then COVID happened. So, all right.
Okay. Yeah, it's not like Arc Systems where they'll just drop a game on you without giving you any heads up. For example,
every single Blaze Blue.
Well, no, specifically when the Guilty Gear Strive teaser came out, everybody was like, we are having so much fun with Guilty Gear Xrd. What is this? And they showed it and people freaked out. And they were like, we're getting a new game! And they did the opposite of Overwatch. The opposite of Blizzard. And we're like, they gave people stuff before it was coming out. But the reason I thought it was looking good is, like you said, at BlizzCon, it was playable a year and a half ago.
Yes.
Both games had demos. Actually, every game had a demo that they announced. So I could play the mobile game. I could play 4. I could have played the WoW expansion, which is out. The WoW expansion did come out. And then Overwatch 2 got to play the demo for that, which is like a 4-person cooperative against environment.
Yeah, it's gonna have the it's PvE elements stuff in it, right?
Yeah, it was like
that part of it seems cool. Yeah,
and it was just like one little level where we all just kind of blasted through, and then you could go into a different line to play the PvP version of Overwatch.
That launch better be flawless because they're gonna have 5 years to work on that game. So it better not be rough when it comes out.
I mean, it's already pretty smooth, so.
This is where I pass the Dutchie here. Sage Bell, I wasn't there at the Overwatch launch. And anytime I watch any content creators, so many people were there following the beta, all the early releases, the character releases, like when they announced Anna and when they announced Sombra and all these extra characters. How does this feel compared to what's going on right now? Because you were there pretty early on, right?
What do you mean?
With Overwatch 1, how invested were you in before you can go to a GameStop and buy a hard copy?
Overwatch.
What's a GameStop?
Gifted to me. But Diablo's my
okay,
game.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Diablo would be the game I as soon as they announced the new Diablo, I dropped money for the art book that was signed by all the creators. And I couldn't explain why it meant so much to me. I was just sobbing trying to talk to the guy because the Diablo is a game that's so close to my heart because of my father. So it's a game that is got me into gaming. Essentially, it's a game that I bonded with my dad. I also have just really funny memories because that game, like the first one was 96,
Yeah.
97?
And 97, I want to say.
I was
Was it?
7.
Let's
Like
take a
I
look.
was the age of that year. So there's just little kid me when we still have dial-up internet and you have to call like somebody, give them like the code, hang up. So it was
And
like
just a heads up, London with a Y messaged me. Diablo 2 was released in June 2000.
I didn't say Diablo 2.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Diablo is January 3rd, 1997.
97. So I was 7 when the
Sorry.
first game came out. And they had the succubus women, and there's definitely, it looks like nipples. And I'm just like, Daddy, why are there naked women on the computer?
Because demons, honey, because demons.
He just started laughing at me. It was just past that time where you could actually be on the phone and talking in game, so you could be on the phone at the same time as internet. So my uncle also heard it, and so it was
Hold
kind
on. Did he have 2 lines? Because that's when I think you had to have 2 phone lines to do that.
No, we had one phone line.
Okay.
I don't know when the overlap was. I just remember when it went from one thing to the you had to call and do the thing, and then
Yeah.
you could actually just talk at the same time as being on the internet.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like you either knew who was like really nerdy or who was really fancy, because those are the people that had the 2 phone lines and one was just for the internet. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, that was the thing.
I mean,
So-
maybe we didn't. I didn't know. 7.
Yeah. So nerdy probably is why you have 2 lines.
I knew how to take a computer apart. My dad had special tools to like pull little individual pieces off. Like he had the little teeny grippers and like
Yep.
little things. So
Yep. Crimpers and all that stuff. Yes. I
those
remember
things
all
are
that.
just so cute and cool. And then like going. But speaking of Diablo 2,
Muds.
since Derek mentioned that, there's a tentative rumor that the remaster should come out this year, so that should bide you over unless you want to play Immortals, which should come out this year, which is the mobile game. So
Unless
those two things.
it's a freaking disaster. Like
But I
Warcraft 3
have a
was.
phone. But I have a phone.
You got a phone? Do
Oh,
you not have phones?
he's talking remastered.
Okay.
He's talking D2.
Yeah,
You can't
but
play
like
that on your phone.
but Warcraft 3 though, that was probably the worst remaster of all remasters that there will ever be.
Oh, and my fellow hosts, I am not on Twitch, but apparently we got hits from our homie streamer Donnie Durden talking about
Nice.
this also.
Let me
I
take
don't
a
know
look at
what
the
he
Twitches.
said, but it popped up real quick.
GMX, bye. Let's talk about real gaming MUDs.
Muds.
What are
Yeah.
muds? Wait, am I that much of a noob?
Muds are the strict. I forgot what what it stands for. If London could look at that for us, but basically they were text-driven adventure games. So you'd have a
Oh, I see.
That's like the first thing you have to do if you're going to video game school for programming. You have to make
Yes.
a text-based game.
Yes.
I made one. You were a princess and you were trying to find a unicorn, and you had to fight all these other. You had to fight unicorns to get to the Pegasus.
Yep. And
It
there's
was a
like no
text game.
prompting. There's like no prompting at all. You have to just figure it out. Like take one step forward,
So
look around.
turn
Yeah.
left.
London just
Turn
sent to
right.
me. The acronym stands for multi-user dungeon.
Yes.
London
Is-
as in Vince.
And also our super producer was on there. The first real MMO PvP. Thank you, Donnie Durden. Follow Donnie Durden on Twitch. So the reason we need to talk about this is because it is not just Blizzard. It is Activision Blizzard. And we were talking about this in pre-production, and this is going to be the big juicy topic that's going to lead us all the way to our final statements. They have had financial success with the Call of Duty series. After a little bit of a lull with, the dawn of Overwatch, with the dawn of Apex, and
I know, Donnie. I know.
yeah. Right?
Donnie's
I
Donnie's
know.
saying
Activision
barf.
stuff.
We know.
But we had H1Z1, we had Fortnite, PUBG, all of these shooters that weren't Activision Blizzard were in the limelight for saverings, ... Correct me if I'm wrong. We're talking about 2 years minimum that COD was not the shooter being talked about.
When was this?
Like 2017, 2018. Like
that's right about when they were dropping the ball with Black Ops and stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
and also PUBG and Fortnite and Apex and Overwatch were just going a million miles an hour.
I
I mean, I
learned how to
guess.
play Black Ops back in like 2009.
I mean, I
It-
guess, but
I'm good at Black Ops.
isn't that also the year they made like $650 million like the first day? So it's like, yeah,
I
you're
think
right. You're right. That's when other things popped up. Overwatch. That's when a bunch of stuff popped up. But they're not hurting. Like even when a Call of Duty flops, it's still like some crazy success. You remember when we covered that story a couple years ago about how their shareholders were disappointed because they only made $500 million or something like that? Remember
Yeah,
when we
I
covered
know.
that?
They
So
they,
yeah,
they they got a machine.
I
But
feel like
that go
what's up,
ahead.
sis?
I was gonna say I feel like Call of Duty has like that ingrained fan base, just like Halo.
Mhm.
You don't really like see it as often, but it still makes
It's-
like money, still has people playing it, even if there is still a bunch of stuff, but they're disappointed in
You
not
could say
making
the
as
same thing
much.
with Overwatch as well. Like you could
So
forget Overwatch exists and it still prints money.
so here lies the topic I'm going to talk about to set up our closing statement, but definitely this is the last topic I'm bringing up. With Activision Blizzard, the reason why they seem pretty confident about not releasing Overwatch 2 or Diablo 4 anytime soon is they want to milk the IPs like they've done for Call of Duty. They want to
Boom.
be like, hey, here's the mobile version, here's a free to play version, here's more content, and we're going to make money off of this more than a hardline true sequel because Call of Duty Mobile is super successful.
Yes.
Warzone was a fucking blowout.
Yeah.
I have, because I'm almost 40. I have friends that stopped playing games years ago that
Yeah.
came back for Warzone.
Oh.
And Warzone sucks some money out of them. It started off as free.
Yeah. And
And
plus
they
a lot of them.
realized, like we have a little bit more money,
Yeah.
at our age. And they're like, oh yeah, I got $40. Yeah, I'll just buy this shit and I'll get cooler guns and cooler skins.
Yeah.
And they saw that and they're like, there's no reason we should launch Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 with our
Mhm.
old system.
There you go.
They want to adapt. Look
Yeah.
what you can do on your phone. Look what you can do with a
Yes.
free to play model. And then 2022, we'll see the
Yes.
sequels.
Yes.
What do you like in my head? I
Me-
think I understand why they're doing it, but
What's that?
I ain't about it.
I
What's
don't
up, Sid,
think
bro?
you're gonna get Diablo next year. I
Yeah,
don't think
they're-
you're gonna get that till like 2025.
Yes.
You'll get
Oh.
Overwatch 2. You're not gonna get Diablo. You're
Yeah,
gonna
not
get
for a while.
Overwatch 2.
Not for a
You
while.
won't get
Yeah.
Diablo.
Okay.
No, because they're gonna milk the mobile game and then they're gonna make that so it's playable on something else besides a mobile device. Like there might be like a Steam port of it, or they might put it in other places that you might not expect it. But we were talking before the show about the stonks, right?
Mhm. It
You know, like
also
what?
hasn't even been 10 years since Diablo 3 came out.
Yeah. So like, what's the best way
10
to
years.
like raise up them stonks, to raise up them profit margins? You don't really do anything. You kind of sit pat for this year. Nobody's going anywhere. So they're going to sell all your stuff. You're going to sell your microtransactions. You're going to sell your next Call of Duty. You're going to sell all that stuff just like you were talking about. So this year, just ride it out. And then the next year, when you start to like plateau just a little bit, that's when you hit them with the next thing. But Blizzard is known for milking that because they know they can just stand pat with what they've got. So you're right. And then in the meantime, the mobile devices you were talking about branching out to other things, that's very little overhead as compared to doing like a worldwide launch of a game. So you're right, just like keeping them costs low, but also just building up. So yeah, they're gonna sit pat on that. I agree with Sage Bell. We're not gonna see that Diablo until who knows when. Like, well, when we see it is when we see it.
Okay.
But yeah.
To be more specific, let's just talk about Overwatch for a second. Go ahead, Sage.
Oh, well, we want to change topic. I was going to say there's 12 years between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
Yeah, but there are only 3 years between Diablo 1 and 2.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but we
also,
don't count that.
and also remember, in between those games, they had a little dilly called World of Warcraft came out in there, so that kind of like blew up, and they wanted to like milk that.
Yeah,
So,
same with
yeah.
StarCraft 1 and 2. I hear you.
Yeah.
So back to Overwatch.
Right? So to bring this home, okay, if we want to get more specific about what we think Activision Blizzard is doing, what do you think their game plan is for Overwatch 2? Because,
money.
like I said, I think they might stall it out until 2022 and do a mobile something and introduce free-to-play Overwatch at this BlizzCon and carry it over to next spring, and that's when they'll talk about Overwatch 2 and try to get that. But that's my thought.
Maybe what they're gonna do is because they announced Overwatch 2 and a PvE version. Maybe they're going to make a single player version of an edition, because right now PvE and PvP is not enough to get me, someone who has just the first Overwatch, over to Overwatch 2. So what are they going to do with Overwatch 2 that's going to bring the Overwatch 1 gamers over, other than just player versus environment? Like a group environment, I guess. Like, because that didn't seem like much of a story when it was just player versus environment.
Word. No, yeah.
So they're
I
going to
do have a
incorporate
lot
more
of fun with
story.
those. I think so. And to the maniacs that are listening right now, if you don't understand, Overwatch does something that's a little different than the other brands of games, where the campaign doesn't exist. There is no campaign. There are light novels, comics, and video shorts. And
Which you got to
that's
find on your own.
that you just have to find YouTube or other websites and links. And if you're late to the game, if you're only getting into Overwatch now, there's some digging. There is some hard digging. Save Rings, you're gonna love this. Save Rings ... This is like finding all of the stories before Matrix 2 came out. You had to dive on the website, watch the Animatrix, find the different websites that give you all the different shorts. And
Yes.
it was a hustle just to catch up.
This was also like, you remember Gotham Knights, that anime that came out in between Batman Begins and whatever the second one, I forgot the second one.
I missed that.
Dark Knight. Yeah, but that was also very Animatrix-ish. Reminded me of that. Have you never seen Gotham Knights?
No, I guess not.
Oh, you need to watch that.
All right. Well, it's that magical time where we do closing statements. And as much as Activision Blizzard, yeah, it's a niche crowd.
Yeah. And also the thing with that is, I think people are also, this wouldn't be an issue if they hadn't had this big giant talent drain. Because before, you wouldn't worry about Blizzard if they could pull together a story or something like that. And then like live services jumping into it too, where it's just kind of like a hero shooter, and then you figure out the story on your own because we just want to sell you stuff. Yeah, I think that's where the shift was. It sounds strange to hear a Blizzard property coming out and people aren't sure about like the story part of it. Like, that doesn't even sound right. But anyway.
Yeah. For example, I have no idea what the story of Call of Duty Warzone is. No idea.
Who cares?
But whenever a new patch comes in, they make you watch like a really well-made cinematic. It's usually like several minutes, like 5 minutes.
Isn't there also a story mode for it?
There is, but that one you pay for.
Oh, yeah.
But even Warzone, as a free player that doesn't want to give money, they give you these cool cinematics that kind of give you up to date. Like, this is why your location looks like this. This event happened. So it's kind of cool. It's neat that they even care that much for scabs like me that hasn't given them $1. Yeah, exactly what Donnie Durden says. Some people just want to go pew, pew, pew.
You give them your info, though. That's all they want.
Yeah, they do. And they got it. So, closing statements, maniacs. We are here at the tail end of episode 110. I am Loud and Brown, at Loud and Brown on Instagram and Twitter. I am Gross Def with a PH on Steam and PS4. And my closing statements was, what game do you anticipate the most? And at this point, I wash my hands of Street Fighter V. Out of all the fandom and all of my favorite pros, it seems like everybody's done with it. And they just want the next one. Like, there's not this heart and endearing passion to hold on to this game like there was with Street Fighter 4 or Third Strike or CVS2. People are like, let's go to the next one. It almost feels like Brawl, but not as bad.
Huh.
That's once
again. Wait, Brawl. That was the Wii one, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, dude, I wanted to get rid of Brawl. Like, the second I realized that game was trash, I wanted to just be on with it.
Yeah.
It took me about a week to figure out it was trash, though.
I am very excited for the next Street Fighter. there's talk that Capcom vs SNK 3 is actually going to happen, and they're trying to be sneaky. They're really sneaky because Ultimate vs. Capcom 3 was completely unwarranted.
No,
There were no leaks.
No.
No one was even talking about it.
I want that SNK versus Capcom, not the other way around.
They don't
What
have
happened
that.
to my Tekken versus Street Fighter in the Tekken engine?
Oh yeah.
What happened to that?
Oh.
Boomer gives us Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, I know. Donnie's right. And I would have had stock, But anyway,
Stonks.
that was my closing statement. Follow me. Remember to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about this podcast, please. And I'm kicking it off too. That one over there.
I see.
Oh wow,
Wow.
that's rude.
I'm gonna say, since I don't really know what's coming out this year, how about Back for Blood? Remember that one? Not Dead by Daylight, the Left 4 Dead company making Back for Blood.
Oh yeah. It's like the spiritual successor. It's made by Turtle Rock, right?
Yeah, and it's made by
Yes.
the people who made the other things, just different company.
And they made Evolve. They made that the game Evolve too.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where they go with that, and hopefully we get more access to it this year. Since
That's
they
it?
had an alpha. I guess watch me Thursday night, 7 p.m., twitch.tv/SageBell. Find me SageBell on most places.
And can you please remind London with a Y to share on Thursday night to make sure people can find you? I forgot this week. I'm sorry. But we need to get more people because, I don't stream. This is a great way to connect with the hosts. So Thursday.
Matt Stotts, ping me on Steam after this. I do owe you some games.
I did apply to be part of a stream team.
Ooh.
I got invited to be in their Discord, and then they were accepting applications. So fingers crossed.
Nice.
So I learned, fun fact, and I'll keep it brief, with Twitch to create the teams. So the reason why we cannot create a team is because you have to be partnered. So a partner has to create the team, and then you can add people to it.
Okay.
Oh.
So
we're not Twitch partners.
A friend of a partnered streamer helped create this thing and added me to her Discord and said, we want you to join our team, but you have to go through the basics. So
Word. And Donnie Durden.
Yeah.
Donnie Durden's trying to get partnered too.
Nice.
Oh, partnered. Is he's got that many viewers? Congrats.
Nice.
No, he's not. Okay. I mean, I think you got more followers than I do by like 100.
Yeah, he's not partnered, but he's not affiliated either. Oh, doesn't want to be partnered. Got it. He just plays games consistently. He's a homie. He's a G. Oh yeah, he got his big boy job anyway. He doesn't care. Yeah, that's right. We won't even talk about that.
He's definitely affiliate. He's using his own emotes.
Yeah.
You have to be affiliate to have emotes. So.
Oh.
All this class system over there.
I know, it's freaking weird.
You can buy your affiliate status if you really want
that.
to.
Gonna throw that closing statement down south, dirty south to Michigan.
What's up? This is Saverings. .. I just be on. If you play games in VR, hit me up because there's some multiplayer games I would love to play in VR.
The closing statement was what games were you anticipating?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, hit me up online. Find me on the Steam. But what game am I looking forward to? I know Super Mario 3D World comes out this Friday on the Switch, and I've been wanting to play that since the Wii U version, but I wasn't about to buy a Wii U for it. So that'll be out this Friday. Another game I've been waiting on for about 2 years. It just kind of disappeared. And I've mentioned it on this podcast quite a few times. It's a game called Dam View, built from nothing, where it's basically like a pixel art, sort of like a Super Nintendo kind of looking game, but you get to like do whatever. You're like living in a city, and you're like an anamorphic animal person, and you could be a teacher. You could sell drugs. You could go to jail. You could work at a laundromat. There's like
sundial.
Yeah, there's like all this stuff, like back alley shady stuff going on, and then when you're driving, you have to follow the traffic rules because you will get pulled over, and all this kind of stuff. So whenever that comes out. But as far as games this year, I'm a blank. But I know the next big one that I want is coming out this Friday for the Switch, and that's Super Mario 3D World. And I can't wait to buy that, play that.
Oh, I want to get Goose Game. Untitled.
Oh
Goose
yeah,
Game.
Honk.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but I want to do that when I have a capture card so I can stream being an asshole. You know, I got to keep my chat as toxic as possible.
Yes.
Keep it toxic.
Yeah.
Maniacs! This has been beautiful. We got so much to talk about this week. And
We left a whole
You know-
bunch out too.
we did. And you know what? It only took 110 episodes, but I think we actually figured out a system to get the topics and roll through it and have someone bring
Dude,
up
look
a
at the
topic.
look at that time right there.
I know. And we started a little late, so I'm
Mhm.
gonna soak up another minute or two because we had to give time to share. Please follow, like, subscribe, drink, head on Drizzly, have some Voodoo Ranger delivered to you. It's delicious. You're not supporting the man, you're supporting a employee-owned company. It's freaking dope. I got friends that work in breweries, and that matters a lot. It really, really does. People give a shit. They do, and that's cool. Give them what's up. They also have fantastic content on their Instagram. It's hilarious, and they will help gaming as we all get vaxxed and coming back into safety and start doing events. And the next big video game convention, you better believe Voodoo Ranger is going to be there with bells on.
Yep.
Ding ding. Yeah. And also big shout out to Soundcasting Network. Other fantastic podcasts that I've been listening to are The Reese Show and also the How to Be a Better Drinker. I listen to it every week. And catch that at soundcastingnetwork.com. This has been Salt Tier episode 110, where your argument is
Corporately owned.
Nowhere. It's corporately assisted. Whatever. Big shout out and thank you very much to our phantom host. We got Dark Kane and we got Stoddy. Always there to support us. Thank you. This thing wouldn't be here without it. Also, Donnie Durden, have a good one. We'll see you on Twitch Thursday night. Remember, when are
7
you
p.m.
streaming?
Pacific.
One more time.
7 p.m. Pacific time.
Sage Bell. We'll see you there. This has been a production of the Soundcasting Network. # live dangerously. Thank you kindly.